It could have been so nice. Welcome back to a new Hints and Theories video, this time to episode number 5, and yes, my mole isn't there anymore. Hila left the game, unfortunately. Does that make me sad? Yes, a bit, because I really thought she would have been a good mole and I really thought we had some good hints leading to her. Can I also take something positive out of that? Yes, since I always try to stay positive, and in this case I don't have a tunnel vision anymore. So as you know, I've always tried to stay objective in these Hints and Theories videos, but now I really am 100% objective since I don't have a tunnel vision. I don't have a main suspect anymore. Before we head to all the Hints and Theories in episode number 5, I quickly want to tell you about a hint which we haven't talked about yet, but which I think is really interesting. So some videos ago I told you about to show Molenstreken, and in episode number 2 there was another hint. So Laetitia, who is the presentator, got his hands on the original motel phone and he had the chance to have a video call with Rick. And he asked him whether the mole was binnen of buiten, so in the circle or out of the circle during task 1 in episode number 2. I'm sure you all remember the task. It was in the theater where they had to play those little games, solve those little riddles with the dice, for example, or eat a cake. And well, some candidates to the inside of the circle and some outside. And before Rick can answer that question, the phone connection dies. On purpose, of course. But if we have a closer look on that video call, then we can see that Rick is outdoors. So we can see him walking around. We see some trees in the background and that he wears an outdoor jacket. So he's definitely not somewhere indoors, not in a room or a studio or so. So maybe this is a hint that the mole also was outside of the circle. And if that is the case, then there are still several candidates left in the game now. Because there are still Thomas, Kim-Lian, Laetitia and Everon. The only one who left out of that group is Arno so far. And if that hint is true, then we could cross Sahil and Frisia out of our list. Now off to episode number 5, and first thing I want to talk a bit about with you is the theory with the masks in the intro. Because this time again we had a game in which we see that mask photoshopped into it. And this time it was the first task. And that task was called Uit de lucht gegrepen. And the theory was that we always have to take a letter from the names of the tasks and then form something with those letters. So if we always take the first letters, then now we would have a P from prikactie in episode number 2, an H from hoog spelen from the last episode, and now a U from task number 1 in this episode. So with PHU, well, if we have a look at the names of the candidates, then we could form Sahil with the H and Thomas as well. Otherwise PHU, well, doesn't tell us that much so far, there's not really a word we can form it. But there was also a second theory about it. So some people thought maybe we have to take the second letters, since it were always the second tasks. That doesn't work anymore because this time it was the first task. But what if we always have to take the letter which connects with the number of the task? So it would be the second letter for the first 2 tasks then, since there were the second tasks in their shows. And this time it would be the first letter since it was the first task. Then we would have R, O and U. And with those letters we can form some more candidates' names. We could have Frisia with the R as well as Everon. We still have Thomas with the O. And well, Sahil unfortunately not anymore because he doesn't have a U, an O or an R in his name. So now let's have a closer look on task number 1. The first thing that I found really suspicious in this task was that Sahil didn't throw as many bags as Frisia did. In the mole talk they really had a nice overview of that, which I will show you now. And as you can see, Frisia threw so many more bags than Zahir did. And everyone, for example, couldn't catch the one from Frasier, which is why he couldn't get free. But well, Zahir didn't even throw something in his direction. So actually this is a really good chance for Zahir to mole. Nevertheless, we know he's been mulling around all the time in all the tasks, but this time it is not so obvious to the other candidates simply because he is alone. Nevertheless, the candidates on the ground couldn't mull very well as well, simply because, well, they all were alone this time. And something that was really obvious in this task was that Laetitia didn't take that pink bag. So at first she tries to grab it while she is still on the chain, and well, if you ask me, then it really looks like she could have grabbed it but didn't do it. And then afterwards, when she's free, she doesn't even think about getting that thing anymore. And that is really suspicious, because as a mole you would know that there is a verdubbler in it, so it means that if you gain 250 euro, then this amount would be counted twice, so that in the end you come up with 500 euro. And as a candidate, you don't know what there is in the bag. So yes, of course, it could be something bad, but you don't know it. It can be like a joker also, maybe. So as a candidate, you're curious and you want to know what is in that pink bag, and she doesn't even take a look at it. And she also doesn't mention it when Thomas pulls the verdubbler out of his pocket, but this is something I can understand. I think I wouldn't have probably told him as well. Nevertheless, it could also make you suspicious, and this is something you want to have as a candidate. Well, so definitely a very weird action from Laetitia. Kim Lian, of course, was suspicious in this task again. She is, well, what should I say, in the mud, like mole, and she didn't listen to the instructions that Hila gave her. So all in all, again, very suspicious actions from Kim Lian. By the way, I'm fine with everyone as a mole except for Kim Lian, simply because it would be so obvious, and I would think it would be really sad if we already knew who the mole was before the season even started. If you think about it as a mask theory, it was such a huge hint if she really is the mole, and yeah, this is something I wouldn't really like, wouldn't really enjoy, but yeah. Off to task number 2. The first big hint in task number 2 is the music we hear, because it is from the ballet Swan Lake, and as we know, Laetitia is an opera singer, and that leads to her. So we had in the last episode several theatre opera music hints, always quite obvious, could lead us in the right direction, could also lead us in the wrong direction. By the way, there were also 2 other music hints this time during task number 1. Thomas sings, "I've got the key, I've got the power," but that lyrics are actually wrong, because in the original song the lyrics are, "I've got the key, I've got a secret." So maybe does he have a secret and here's the mole? And the second music hint is, "The lion sleeps tonight," and I don't really have a theory about it yet, so what it should tell us, but I think it's, well, quite random. So all in all, 3 music hints this time. In task number 2, some other strange things happen. For example, the walkie-talkie of the group Laetitia and everyone doesn't work anymore suddenly. And there's theory that when Laetitia jumps into the water, everyone puts the walkie-talkie on the wrong channel, so that they couldn't hear the others anymore, and later on they put it back to the right channel so that they can hear them again. Well, everyone says maybe it got wet, but there is a scene where we can see him leaning over the walkie-talkie, and it does look quite a bit weird. Another thing about task number 2 is that Kim Lian jumps into the water quite often. And in the last seasons we've seen that this always takes up some time, so this is good to, well, waste some time. But also in the same team as Sahil, and he basically doesn't do anything, he just sits there on the bike and waits and let Kim Lian do all the work, so yeah, that is kind of suspicious as well. And now off to task number 3, there are some discussions going on whether it would be clever for them all to sit in the all-in group or in the 200 euro per ride statue group. If you ask me, then both versions are possible. The all-in group of course means if you buy only one statue then there would be no money at all for the pot. If you are in the 200 euro per ride statue group, then of course it could be that you like fail 3 out of 5 and then you only have 400 euro in the pot. But it could also mean that even if you manage to put up all 5 statues in the right places, then you would only gain 1000 instead of 2000 euros. So I think both groups are possible for the mole. I had a look at the runes as well, and they all have somehow a connection you can form to the mole. One, for example, means game, another one means secret, something hidden, and another one means water. As you know, we've seen so many scenes with water. We have games with water, but we also have those pictures that they show us in between the games a lot with water. So I really think the mole has something to do with water. We also get to see a lot of boats. And well, one of those runes also means water. I have another water-related hint, but if you want to know more about that one, then you have to check out my quick hints video on Friday, in which I will tell you another water-related quick hint. The only main suspicious thing I found in task number 3 is that Laetitia is in the theatre and is the first one who finds that pine cone statue. And that pine cone is also a religious symbol for immortality. And as we know, the mole is immortal since he can't leave the game. He's always there, he will stay alive, he will stay in the game. So Laetitia is the first one to find it, and it is in the theatre. So, well, again, probably a hint to her as an opera singer. That were all hints and theories to episode number 5. Let me know if I missed out something very crucial, and also let me know if you have more knowledge about runes or any more ideas and theories what we have to do with that mask hint in the intro. If you don't want to miss out the next water hint, then make sure to subscribe so that you will not miss the quick hints video. And you can of course follow me on Instagram or join our International Facebook group if you want to discuss a little bit more detail with us. And by the way, let me know how many points you still have in the WIDM-App app. I of course lost some now because I went on healer, but nevertheless at this point in the game I would never put all my points in on one person, so I'm still in the game, I still have points left. Until the next video, I wish you so much fun figuring out who the mole is, and have a good start into the new week. Bye!